Hello everybody, my name is Battlecat3 and today I'm bringing you a why is Guild Wars 2 better or is going to be better than World of Warcraft Mists of Pandaria. And please take this as a discussion and I'd definitely like to hear your thoughts and let's get started. So first off, Guild Wars 2 is a game by ArenaNet and it's been in development for over 7 years, so there really is a lot of time and work put into this game, which is just one of the reasons why it's going to be so amazing, due to the actual time and graphics and the developers who spend their own personal time and customize their stories and incorporated that into the game. And you can see that with the images you're seeing online now, how beautiful everything looks and how dynamic it is and how diverse it is as well, even to the last button on the belt. It looks amazing. I have a few points to go through, and the first one I have is no subscription fee. Though there is no subscription fee for Guild Wars 2, you can buy the game once and you've bought it forever, and that's it. You can play endlessly. You can play as much as you want, for as long as you want, without having to ever pay a subscription again, other than in-game aesthetic perks, which you can buy from the stores. Other than that, there's really nothing you can buy, and you can just enjoy no subscription fees and work off that. As opposed to World of Warcraft, which has a $20 a month subscription fee in different countries, and it does really clock up a fee in later terms. The dynamic fighting is another point in Guild Wars 2. There is different aspects. You can actually block, dodge, run away from your attackers instead of having a chance to block, dodge, and run away from your attackers, as opposed to World of Warcraft. World of Warcraft you can, generally speaking, in Mists of Pandaria especially, as the concept has never changed. On bosses, once you attack your boss, they will never move, so you can definitely have a dynamic fighting scene going on where each attack in the direction in which you put it does make a difference, and it really does come across as making the game harder, more fun, skill enticed. Instead of just tapping buttons, you need to move, run, and adjust to your surroundings, and that's just one more reason why Guild Wars 2 will be better than Mr. Pandaria. For the better graphics, as you can see now, this is amazing. Looking at all the diverse places that there are and scenery in the game, from cities to taurins to elven creatures, dark bows, machines, deserts, snows, the lot. It has it all. Rainforests is just so diverse, and in World of Warcraft Mists of Pandaria there is a really nice graphic set out. However, the engine is nothing like what Guild Wars 2 is going to bring out, and it is really something special, especially with all the spell effects and such coming through magically, and it all hits the targets with their own spell effects, and it just looks phenomenal. That's just one more reason. No set roles is another point that I want to bring up. In World of Warcraft Mr. Pandaria, as well as all the other expansions in World of Warcraft, you actually do have set roles, so tank, heal, and DPS. In Guild Wars 2, there is none. You can pick anything, you can choose your own destiny, and fire along for it, and that's just one of the better reasons why you would want to buy this game. You can become a healer if you want, you can become somebody who can aid in battle, you can become somebody who takes the damage first, like a guardian. There's just so much diversity, and it just really comes across when you want to play something that has a lot more range in it, and something that's a better field. It's just another reason, really. There's a personalized story to each character. Every time you log on, you take a new path with your questing. It's not so set and boring. There is definitely some stuff that you want to pursue with your own story. You do start off in your own respective areas, and it's really good to see your character develop through that especially. There's definitely more and more concept art coming in, which you can see on the screen now, that just makes the game more special, and that's all dedicated to your own classes especially. So again, in World of Warcraft, where there is areas in which you can just go and level up, get rid of the leveling and move on to better things like instances and such, in Guild Wars 2 there's a personalized story for you, something that you can follow and try to better yourself with, and definitely makes the game more fun and enticing constantly. There's just another reason why Guild Wars 2 is going to be better than Mr. Pandaria, in my respective opinion. There's going to be massive cities, so there's so much content to look for, so much things to follow. In World of Warcraft there are cities that are lacking a bit of detail, a bit of vibe, and emphasis with, as opposed to Guild Wars 2, where there's people walking around, trading, talking, dancing, fighting, stealing, everything constantly in the realm. It is so publicly open and fun to be part of. It feels almost real, and that's something that you can really not give up. Having people interact with you in game and working so well with the city system is just something that brings it together, and that's one of my favorite points, to be honest with you. I really love how the cities are going to come across, and as you can see on the screen now, the cities in the background look magnificent with a 10-meter walk around radius. 10 minutes. You can walk for 10 minutes and eventually get around the whole radius of the whole radius and perimeter of the of the city, so it is really quite large when you think about it. There is world versus world versus world and world versus world PvP content and scaled PvP content for Guild Wars 2, so you really can't miss out on that. It sounds awesome, and it is awesome. You can have thousands, hundreds of people fighting and defending their own realm for days upon end, trying to make themselves the better realm and win. There's underwater PvP combat, which we'll get to just a little later. However, I want to pick up the point that World of Warcraft PvP, despite Mists of Pandaria integrating a new class and such, is going to be exactly the same. There's no diversity in it, which is a shame. PvP is player versus player. However, there can always be aspects in it. And what I really love about World vs World is you can use your destructive environment around you respectively in order to benefit your team. It's just so productive and so fun. So you can definitely use these things to your fullest advantage, such as trebuchet, catapults, fire, oil, and your environment just to bring down your enemy. It really does put an emphasis on how good the game's going to be through its diversity. And in World of Warcraft, you just simply don't have that. Things like Arathi Basin and a Court of Arms is great as an incentive to play, but if you want to go and defend and really show your realm as being the better one, then World vs World PvP is something that you cannot just simply miss. It's just so integrated in the game that it's just something you have to go and do. It's perfect, really. There's underwater fighting and underwater cities, which is just great. Like, think about it, the diversity is incredible. Now, I remember Vashir for the Cataclysm expansion was great, and in Mists of Pandaria you do not have an underwater city, which is a shame, but you do have underwater aspects nonetheless. It's just really good to have an underwater fighting scene, something that you can go on and live underneath the waterfall. It's just great, to be honest with you. It gives that other sense of diversity as well, that despite everything being on land and there is no flying mounts respectively, however, it does have that, you can go underwater, travel underwater, set your things in stone underwater, and really enjoy the game from that perspective. And that just gives a whole new aspect again and again, because once you're bored on land, you can move, you can entice yourself into other aspects of the game, and then again, it brings back that fresh new feeling, and you can't really lose it, to be honest with you. From the current underwater fighting footage that's been displayed, it looks phenomenal as well. The graphics have not let go one bit, and that really shows that World of Warcraft, despite being so blue and, radiant on the Vashir type things and the water they have, it's still, just outside the game a little bit. It's not really integrated inside the game, which is a dying shame, because water and underwater combat and cities and such should really be part of any MMORPG. It's a shame that World of Warcraft and Mists of Pandaria does not provide that bit. Guild Wars 2, so it's just another reason why Guild Wars 2 would really be better. There's dynamic bosses and dynamic fighting and events constantly going on in game. You could be walking around just finding a line and then suddenly being attacked by 10 creatures out of nowhere and forming a team in order to defend yourselves and your party, and that's just really great. Again, the perfect words is dynamics and diversity, because it just constantly brings that to the game, and that also ties in with your personal story and your personalized aspects in the game constantly, again and again, having to defend your own friends and kill your own foes through your respective areas. And that is really great, because you can come together as classes, you can come together as roles and experience these things. Some roles are going to have to take on their different dynamic fighting skills, which I'm going to love to emphasize again, because there is no classes, there is no set classes. So let's say you're all a bunch of elementalists and you need to fight a world boss. You're going to have some elementalists who want to take the damage and split the damage up. You're going to want someone to be healing and helping out, as well as doing damage against the boss, and that's showing you just again and again how well the game works through this. And as you can see now, the whole hunter jumping through the back, and all these classes coming together fighting off a big boss. It just looks great. It looks amazing how it comes together. So it's never straightforward and boring like World of Warcraft is, unfortunately. You run into a raid group, you know what the raid's going to have, and you're going to kill the boss, which is a shame. However, there is a world bosses, and it just really looks good. There's nothing really more you can say other than how good this game looks through the concept art and the art that comes through. They put so much work and so much detail into it, and that wraps it up. So if you want more of this, please come to my channel, and I'm going to have a why Mists of Pandaria is better than Guild Wars 2 up, so there's one for both sides, and come check it out. Thanks.